Welcome to Let's Talk Relationship. And I am Stefania Pulio from the Gentleman Square. For those of you that don't know me, I am a men's love and relationship coach and also a certified hypnotherapist. And today, I'm so excited. I am back this week to talk about, of course, more relationship talk. But before we go on, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get to see all my latest videos. Press like and also share with friends. But yeah, so let's get on talking about our topic for today, and that is why men's groups need women. Yes. Now, as you know, I am a men's love and relationship coach predominantly. I have worked with women, but you know, not many of you know my story. So I thought I'd start off a little bit with how I started and I guess what drove me to work with men. Because a lot of people actually ask me this all the time. And, you know, I know I've told my story, but I don't think I've really told it enough for people to really know because they think, well, what's a woman doing coaching a man? You know, what does a woman know about a man? And I say, you know what? You're absolutely right. I don't know biologically how a man feels. And there's a lot of things that I don't know about men, obviously, because I'm a woman. But I say, I certainly know how a woman feels. And ultimately, you know, as men that like to, you know, be in a monogamous relationship are attracted to women. So wouldn't it make sense to actually get to know the psyche or the way a woman thinks so you could actually fast track and you know connect with her in a way that's profound, in a way that is a lot easier. You're going against the grains. You're basically knowing what you're working with, you know. And I often say it's a bit like um driving a car, right? When you get in a car, you know, especially if it's a new car, you're gonna wanna know how it drives, you know? Okay, the shift stick or the gear sticks, we call them here, is, you know, on on your left side for us because 'cause we're in Australia, it's on the right side for the other side of the world. But, you know, you wanna know where all the gadgets are, where the lights go on, and because every car is different, right? And particularly if you're going for something a little bit higher prestige type of car, let's say, for example, a Lamborghini. Okay, let's go straight to the top, a Lamborghini. When you hop in a car and you're driving and you know, you haven't driven a Lamborghini before, you're going to notice that everything, your brakes are all on your steering wheel, your gears are on your steering wheel. Nothing is, you know, with the pedals. So you're in a totally new um, environment of a car. So you're going to find it different. You're going to have to learn how to drive this car because it'll feel different to drive as much as it feels exciting and you've got a lot of speed and, you know, and there's luxury and, you know, being hugged by that beautiful leather, you know, interior for some, or some is that really nice soft fabric. It's going to feel different. It's going to seem different. The sound of the way this car drives is totally different. Would you agree with me? For those of you that have been in a Lamborghini. So the same is with a woman. And of course, you know, guys like to relate, well, not all, but most guys like to relate the women like cars, fast, sexy, and so forth and so forth. So going back to why, you know, women are needed in groups. And this is why I decided to you know, create a platform, create a movement, the Gentleman Square, to help men navigate through these relationships, whether you're in the dating scene, whether you're already in a relationship. to actually navigate through that. Now, I've always been interested in relationships. From young, I've always been drawn to people. I've been drawn to, connect with people, understand how a male and female thinks. Now, we're wired differently. When it comes to the way a man thinks and the way a woman thinks, you've got to admit there are differences. And I, I guess too, social conditioning has wired us up also and programmed us to think differently. But at the end of the day, I say you're an individual. You are definitely, capable of exploring, searching, understanding the person of the opposite sex. So for me, it was really important because of my own journey in relationships, also with men, that I felt if only they knew how I felt, if only they knew what I was thinking. And of course, as women, we're a bit complicated. I must admit, I'll be the first one to put my hand up. Complicated in the sense that, we feel more, we're more emotional, we're more expressive. We want our men to be more understanding, connecting with us on an emotional level. And of course, men are more logic, they compartmentalize everything. And if it's not broken, you know, don't touch it. Whereas women on the other side, they will see things in all different shades, in all different colors. Now, for me, it was, really interesting how through my life and my career, because I've had many, many jobs. I've done many things. I first started off as a hairdresser. For those of you that know, I used to be a hairstylist and working with, you know, people and styling their hair. And of course, as a hairdresser, you have the license to touch, right? Like a doctor, like a chiropractor. And the minute you touch someone, they express, they talk to you. I guess it's this trust, I guess, where they're feeling comfortable, they're putting their trust in you to style their hair, to touch them, to cut their hair, color their hair, whatever it is, that then they open up. And in this journey of hairdressing, for me, it was like, wow. I know when I first started as an apprentice, my boss said to me, Stefania, you're going to find that people are going to open up to you and they're going to want advice. Remember this one rule: don't give advice. Listen, be a good sounding board, but don't give advice. And and so I did. I used to listen, and particularly when I first started, when I wasn't cutting hair, I'd be shampooing their hair, and giving them those nice scalp massages and massaging treatments in their hair. And of course, that just totally relaxed them, that they would just talk, they would express, they would feel comfort in your presence, that they would share. And in this journey, they would share, mostly all the conversations would be, believe it or not, around relationships. So that really fascinated me. And, I got to hear a lot of stories, and it was like, wow, I could even write a book about what I'm hearing. So from there, I moved on, and I did personal training. I became a personal trainer. And I also went back to school and became an English teacher. So I was teaching as well as, instructing in the gym. And in the gym, I was both, coached in training in the gym, both men and women. And again, this whole thing about relationships and how women felt and how they, felt misunderstood. And yet the men, they would come to me and not so much talk about how they felt, because men don't really express their feelings. They would be curious. They'd want to know, what should I do? What is she thinking? Like, they would want to know what a woman's thinking and how to approach, be more tactful, be more strategic about how to approach and connect with a woman. So it was in those, years of personal training that I thought, you know what, there's this gap. There's this gap where I strongly believe if I can be that advocate, if I can be that, you know, that woman that men can actually, I guess, feel comfortable in my presence to um, be able to know, be able to understand how a woman will be feeling. But from there, I actually went and did more studies. I went and studied the mind. I did NLP. I did hypnotherapy to really go deeper in understanding, I guess, the behavioral um, changes we go through our life and how we model from our parents, how we model from our friends, our peer group, our teachers, and how we become to be the people that we are at the age that we are. So, going back to why men? I love men. Okay, I've got nothing against men. I think um, I have had some amazing relationships with men, and I didn't quite get it to the end, and that's what really drove me to say, okay, how can I help men understand that this is what a woman's feeling at such and such a time. But then not only was I concerned about expressing what a woman felt, what really came to mind was men weren't really getting in touch with their own selves. They weren't connecting with who they were, connecting with their own potential. And, some men, because of this, you know, I guess wanting to be the best for their woman and comparing themselves and feeling challenged by maybe other men, they were then disconnecting from their own selves and comparing themselves with other men and wondering why other men were being so successful in relationships and they couldn't. And of course, then I, also understood that, in our journey of life and men included, we have our, you know, relationship journeys and we've been in and out of different relationships. And of course, every time a relationship doesn't end very well, we are feeling jaded. We are feeling somewhat hurt. We're feeling like that last relationship, she just ripped my heart out and cut it into pieces. And I haven't been the same. I know because I hear this. I hear this from my clients. And it can be painful. It can leave us in a way that we don't want to trust again. We don't want to um, put our hearts in someone else's hands anymore. It can leave us in a way that, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to be, dating, casually seeing women, but I don't want to commit. But ultimately, this is what I found through not only working with men, but also surveys and research that I've done. Men still long to have that special one woman that understands them, that woman that respects them, that woman that, is trustworthy, where we can, where you can actually say, okay, she's got my back. I've got her back and she's got my back and we can get through everything together. Ultimately, that's what a man wants. Yes or yes? Tell me, is that something that I'm, honing in? If it is, let me know. Put a comment down below and let me know. So when I say, men need women, I really believe that men's therapy is great. Men to men therapy is fantastic. And men are great in, supporting each other, particularly in sports, in team efforts, and really cheering each other up to, get to the next level. But what happens is when it comes to the emotional stuff, the emotional turmoil you know, that they're feeling on the inside, they're somehow unable to express it. they're somehow unable even to share it with their best mate because they think they'll be coming across a certain way, not being manly enough, not being able to have it together. And often, not being able to be vulnerable enough to open up, even with another man. But yet, in the presence with a woman, I found, I guess it's, that woman nurturing style that some women have, that men feel comfortable in their presence. And of course, you know, it doesn't make you, wussy to be speaking to a woman. But in actual fact, a woman can give you a female's perspective. A woman can give you those, in between lines, those secrets, I guess, where a man doesn't know. He doesn't know. And I know, for a fact when I was growing up, and I remember, my big brother saying to me, if you ever want to know how a man's thinking, you've got to ask another man because another man will tell you how another man thinks. Your girlfriends are not going to tell you. Your girlfriends are going to be thinking along the same line as you. And you know what? He's right. He's always been right when it comes to that, because a man will tell you, a man that, you've got as a confidant, whether it be your brother, even a father, if you've got that close relationship, or even with a close male friend that you can trust, he will tell you how a man is thinking. So why is it any different with a woman? She will tell you if you are confiding with the right woman, and you trust and know this woman, she's going to back you, and she's going to tell you the truth because she wants the best for you. And ultimately, that's what I want for my clients. That's what I want for my clients when I work for them. I want the best for them. And this is why I think, having a female in your corner is not a bad thing. Now, sometimes what happens in a man's, um, thinking, programming, and it's understandable. I get it. I get it. Where he has been, left jaded by a woman. He's been taken for a big ride. She's taken him for all his money. Um, you know, she won't let him see the kids. And she's taken his heart and just ripped it into pieces. He is not going to trust another woman. I get it. But it's not about trusting that woman ultimately, gentlemen. You know what it's about? It's about trusting yourself with a particular woman. Yes, that's what it is. Because if you can trust yourself and you can connect with that inner knowing, connecting with your heart, connecting with your head, and having that head and heart coherence come together, you will get the answers. You will know if you are working with the right woman. You will know whether you are connecting with the right woman, whether it's with someone that you are working with, whether it's someone that you are entering a relationship with, um, any kind of relationship, any kind of relationship. I always say it's about bringing the heart and the head coherence in alignment. Now, another thing that I want to add to that, and I know a lot of people talk about heart and head mind coherence. I also want to bring in gut coherence for those that like to feel things in their gut. They're more kinesthetic, right? It's about your mind, heart, and gut coherence. It all is in alignment because your gut is like your second mind. They say that. Yes, there's been research done where your mind is like your gut is like your second mind. If both of them are in alignment, your gut's not working right, your digestive system isn't working right, and your head's not working right. Your mind, it's scattered, it's confused, there's no clarity, there's this constant chatter that's going on in the head. So that's how you get to know whether you're working with the right woman, gentleman. So that's what I wanted to share today. And, a little bit about my story and a little bit about, having that feminine energy when you're feeling a little bit vulnerable is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And as I said before, a woman will tell you from a woman's perspective. You know, Same thing when you're dressing up, you're getting dressed. A woman will tell you what looks good with what in colors. They've got that intuitive sense. They've got that innate, natural, nurturing energy about them that will, you know, tell you where you may be out of sync. All right. So anyway, I hope this has helped you and helped you understand why women in male groups are good. But it's all, as I said before, recapping, it's about what energy that woman brings. What is she bringing? What is she emanating? Is she emanating at the same frequency? If you want to know more, gentlemen, I invite you to follow me at the Gentleman Square. If you would like to work with me, I am, available to do that. On my website at the Gentleman Square, I do have an application form that I work with men only by application. So feel free to go to my website. I'll leave a link also down below where you can fill in the application, and we can set up a time to have a 30-minute complimentary discovery call, just a chat, an insight call onto where you're at and how I can help you. So, gentlemen, as always, I send you love and I send you passion. Until next time, bye for now.